Hello fellow Star Wars fans, my name is Starrapter and welcome back to the channel. It's time to talk about some Star Wars comics. This week we have a double dose of the Bounty Hunter Tonga, both in Han Solo as well as Bounty Hunters. We're going to start off with Han Solo and Chewbacca. This is issue number 5. We had just recently heard the news that this is only going to issue number 10. It was announced as an ongoing, but at least we now know a finite number of issues that we have left. We are now at the halfway point. We have Han Solo and Chewbacca. They have this job from Jabba to get the ashes of his enemy, and it has taken them to Corellia and all these different locations, and now they are fleeing for their lives from Black Chrysanthemum and trying to basically get off this planet when they realize that, oh my gosh, the MIllenium Falcon has been stolen, right? It's not where they parked it, and it's really Han's supposed father that it takes away. So they have Black Chrysanthemum on their tail. Next thing you know, you have another YT freighter that comes in and saves their skins, and it is Tana, and also Greedo is one of the crew members, as well as Tonga. And Greedo led them back to Han, who left him for dead on Corellia. So we have this big story about them trying to find out where these ashes went, because they do not have it on their persons. They got to find it. Next thing you know, they go and find out where they think that Han's supposed father has it. Takes them to this location of where this lawman, and his name is Vancto. It turns out that the supposed Han Solo's father is not actually Han Solo's father, but the name is Corbus Qi'ra. He is a renowned conman. He doesn't have just one eye, he has both his eyes, and his beard is a darker color. So this entire issue is basically cruxed upon getting onto that planet, get them. They're on the lawman's planet. They're on that headquarter planet, and it goes awry. Basically what happens is Chewbacca gets taken away, and Han Solo gets shot by Greedo. Yes, Han Solo is on that ship, the Falcon lookalike, and he is not going to leave Chewbacca to get detained by these officers. So he refuses to pilot that ship, and that's when Greedo busts into the cockpit and shoots Han Solo. And then meanwhile, we see that Chewbacca goes to a cell, the same prison that Dr. Evazan and Pada Baba are on. Remember, we've seen them in Dr. Aphra, we've seen them in Rogue One, so they pop up regularly in this era. Plus, Chewie is sharing a cell with Maz Kanata. So I've been wondering about that character, because we haven't actually had that character in the limelight for some time other than the High Republic. So it's cool to see her again. But yeah, this is the final issue of this first arc. We're going to get 2 arcs. So very interesting stuff there. What I will say is it's kind of funny that really in reality, Greedo shot first. Greedo shot Han first. I don't know how he's going to get out of this one. There's been a couple clever cliffhangers in this stories, whether it be Han's supposed father or now Han being shot, right? So I don't know how he's going to get out of this one. Does he have like a little pad of Beskar chips in his pocket or something that's absorbing a blast? Well, we're not going to have to wait too long, because I think the next issue comes out next month. Getting into Bounty Hunters issue number 26. This one is called Raid on the Vermilion Part 3. It's written by, of course, Ethan Sachs with artwork by the renowned Paolo Villanelli. So this one's chock full of storylines. We have I think 4 different storylines in this book. Starts off with Tonga. As we mentioned, she's part of the crew in the Han Solo book that takes place before A New Hope. Now this one takes place after Empire, so we get this cool little connectivity going on in the same week. So anyway, we have Tonga, who has stormed aboard the Vermilion, trying to get to Gedelia, who is the centerpiece to unite the Mourner's Wail and the Unbroken Clan, which would make for a very big power move in the underworld of Star Wars. So she is currently detained by Qi'ra, and that's why the bounty hunters have all gone there, because Byron Valance really wants this to happen, and that was before he went to the Empire, but we'll get to him later. So anyway, she storms, she's killing all these guys, getting away. Next thing you know, we turned back to Losha, who is the lover of Tonga, and she is just like the getaway driver. Well, it turns out that we have the character of Vakora, who was thought to have been detained, but apparently Dengar freed her, and now is trying to kill Losha. Losha has unleashed her Nexu on Vakora, and unfortunately, Vakora gets the upper hand on the Nexu. Very surprisingly, it shows you the prowess of this general of the Unbroken Clan. She's actually able to kill the Nexu. And what's really important about this is they actually make us care about the Nexu. There wasn't a lot of this Nexu in this book, but the moments it had in this issue, they really, Ethan Sachs everybody involved creatively with this issue did a great job of actually making me feel about a creature in Star Wars getting killed. So I got to give it to them. Very sad scene. But then we also have a scene with Dengar, who, this guy's constantly switching sides, but it turns out he gets into a fight with Tasu Leech. So there's this really cool, long, drawn-out fight, and Tasu Leech actually gets the upper hand on Dengar, doesn't kill him, basically leaves him alive to basically be frustrated that he lost to Tasu Leech. And the funniest part is Tasu Leech was speaking in his Deblonian accent, or language rather, the whole time, and Dengar just doesn't understand what the hell he's saying, because he likes to talk, Tasu Leech, but it's kind of a funny situation there. And then we also have Byron Valance, who is talking to this lieutenant that is in charge of his situation. He has become what he aspired to be in the beginning, which is becoming a war hero for the Empire. And now that he's actually sort of a war hero, he didn't want to be that. He's brought into this because it's against his will to basically save his ex-lover and Cordelia and all them from the rebel base being destroyed and all that. And now we know that it's been destroyed. He doesn't know yet. But this lieutenant is very strangely attracted to Byron, likes his synth skin and everything, gets drunk and tries to make moves on Byron Valance. So that was interesting stuff there. But one note about the Valance story, it does seem like it's like pushed into the story for no reason, and it feels like it's not really going anywhere. So if there's areas to trim in this story, which is pretty chock full of things, I think the Byron Valance story is maybe misplaced a little bit, right now at least. And it seems like they only get 2 pages for his story every month, whereas everybody else is getting a big, substantial, meaty amount of story content. Anyway, we go back to the character of Tonga, and this entire mission, these last several issues, have all come to a screeching halt because she gets to the point where she's able to get Cordelia away, and Cordelia just chooses, I don't want to go with you. The coast is clear. Tonga could get her. They could succeed in the mission, go away. But Qi'ra has gotten to her. And that's the thing about Qi'ra. She is a soothsayer by all purposes because she is able to talk anybody into anything. That's how she united all these different disparate groups, from the Knights of Ren to these the orphans originally, to all these different characters, including Cordelia, who now wants to stay with her. And then she even goes a step further, Qi'ra goes a step further in convincing Tonga to work for the Crimson Dawn. Gives her the information that she needs to contact Qi'ra when she's ready to make that choice. So Tonga ends up, leaving without fighting anybody, going back to her people, finding out that the next Sioux is dead. And it's a downer moment for everybody that's there on the Edgehawk, right? From Boss to Tasu Leech to Zuckuss to 4LM. All those guys, and now we have the big decision that Tonga's going to have to make. Is she going to work for the enemies that they were going against this entire time? And that's why I like Bounty Hunters. That's why I like this series, is because more than anything else, these characters, up until recently, now we know, because again, I was complaining a little bit about this, how we know the fates of these characters. Now they're going to survive after Return of the Jedi, because we've seen that story in Halcyon issue number 5. But that being set apart, these are characters that have not really been elaborated and fleshed out, so any of them, we don't know where their story is going, which makes this very interesting, very much a wild card. Same with Dr. Aphra when it comes to the current Star Wars comics, and how they're not a direct tie-in to something. They're not tying into anything at this point, other than to service a story that the creators want to tell, that goes in, with whatever's happening in Crimson Reign and the Hidden Empire coming out in the future. So I really dug this. I think this is a great, refreshing take on what's happening in between The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi in the underworld of Star Wars. But I want to hear what you guys thought about both these issues that came out this week. Let me know in the comment section down below. For more on Star Wars, please go tell your friends, tell everybody that's interested in Star Wars. This is the place that they can hang out and get some information, from comics to novels to everything, even collecting. I put up a video recently about the Star Wars Micro Galaxy Squadron of line of ships and miniatures that mimics those 80s, 90s Micro Machines action fleet ships as well. So go check out that content. Do me a favor, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, because you'll be notified when future videos go live, especially when I do my podcast every Friday out of room transmission. Anyways, I hope you guys have a great day and enjoyed this video. That's going to do it for me, Starrapter. Thank you so much for watching, and may the Force be with you always. Thanks for checking out the video. Please hit that thumbs up symbol. It helps me know that I'm making content that you guys enjoy. And if you enjoyed this video, I also include 2 videos down below you guys should check out. And please consider subscribing to this channel. It helps support me and it notifies you guys of when I get new videos up on the channel. You can also contact me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Starrapter.